start upstage. So my feet are going to go out of frame here for a minute that you'll be able to see in the reflection. We start in fifth position with the arms up, and we are going to step back here. Let me start back here. So we're going to start with the right foot. It's going to be step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now as I'm going back, let me show you guys from the side here. Going 1, 2, really pointing that leg, keeping my hips facing forward. When you step back, try not to take big steps. You just want to gently step and roll evenly from the ball of this foot to the toe of this foot. See how nice and natural that feels. So we hold the arm position here, la 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 la. So 7, 8 feet are together. We're going to drop the arms nice and slow with this sort of beckoning, opening gesture here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, on 8, go ahead and close the hands inward. We're going to go at a weird diagonal. This is a strange angle. We're going to come up to 5th position, but it's slightly hilter-kilter here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Give a nice flick, like you're flicking water off your fingers. So coming up on the diagonal, make sure there's still room around your face. So don't come too low, don't cut across, don't hunch here. Just up, 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 and down. And then let me make sure that my feet are in the frame. I kind of have to hug the outside here, I think. So we're going to do the Susie Q step. So we're starting with the toes in on this one. So we're facing up stage, started with the toes in. So we go toes in, toes, heels. Now, what a lot of people want to do is they want to keep this really tight circle around themselves to turn around. And that's not what we want to do. What we want to do instead is make a nice big arc on the floor and take your time with it. So we're going to count out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Almost there. We're going to keep going. And then we're going to sink. We end with the heels together. And we're going to sink into this modified first position. What I'm referring to as temple first, just for ease of communication, since it is sort of a temple-inspired dance. So let me make sure that you can see what my feet are doing. I haven't filmed in a while. So I've got one heel up on my other ankle, basically. Both knees are plié, both hips are even. So we don't want to go in weird, funky areas here. So just straight down, arms are going to scoop up. Nice and round like the moon. And then we're going to do a crossover turn. So without the arms, I'm just going to show you, we're doing 3/4 of a turn. So it's going to be crossover. And I'm not coming up onto releve to go around. I'm transferring the weight from one foot to the other. So we're going around like so. Boom. So my weight ends on my left foot, and I'm facing this corner here. Now with the arms, this little funky arm thing is nicknamed moon swing. So we're going to bring first the hands to the wall. We're going to quickly round that out, palms are to the floor. As we step around, so when we face up, the hands are up. Or when we face back, the hands are up. And then when we face our corner, the arms come down. So the whole thing, so we start up here, 6, 7, 8. Okay? So from here, we're going to let the arms break. So we're going to go down, up, drop, drop, and then a little passe pitch there. So this is just a down, up, down, down combination for a melody that you would hear. So doom, tech, doom, doom, tech. But with the arms, so we've just finished coming out of here. 1, 2, and 3, 4. We're going to do feet. Step together, step together, step together. On the footwork, we're doing a little chest circle. So we want it nice and big and juicy, but we don't want to go super exaggerated here. So it's just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And as I'm stepping with my right foot, that's when my chest comes upward. So I'm starting off over here as my preparation. So I'm going and 1, 2, change the weight on the left, 3, 4. So 2 full chest circles, 4 steps total. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do a modified Arabic hip twist. So we're going to bring the arms up to fifth, and we're going to close the fist at first to feel really strong. So it's going to be twist, change the weight, center, open the hands, twist, together. We're going to sidewinder. Right, left. Now when you go left, so we're going to go down up on the right, just down on the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Torso rotation, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if you need pointers on sidewinder, go ahead and check out my video. It's fully dedicated to sidewinders. I will link it in the description box. But moving right along. So we go sidewinder, sidewinder, stay down, chest circle. From here, this is a tricky combination. It's a lot of hand and arm work. So we're just going to start with the feet, add the hips, and add the hands last. So the first thing we're going to do is just think we're going to come up, 2, feet together, same thing other side, up, down. So that's all the feet do. It's going to feel more complicated than that, but it's not. So 1, 2, and then up and down. So with that, we've got the arms. Without the feet, real quick, we're going to curl the fingers in. We're breaking a lot of rules in this choreography. So we're going to come in by the waistline, twist the upper body so that this hand is visible if possible. This is a pretty exaggerated twist, so if you're not quite there, that's okay. And we want to go whoop, framing the hips, all the way scooping up. So just a note on these arm pathways, the inspiration behind that is if you watch a video in reverse. So normal classical arm pathways, when you reverse them, look very interesting. So that's where a lot of this comes from. This is basically the reverse of this. Okay, so that's kind of a helpful reference point if you want to really experiment and move your arms in what feels like a more classical direction. Then you watch that in reverse, you'll see what I mean. So anyway, so that's where this is coming from. This is very fusion. So cross, come up. Make sure you do not block the face right here. So if I show you from the side, I'm coming here. From the front, looks like that. So imagine we're outlining our hips, touching the shoulders. But of course, if we were to actually do that, we'd be really collapsed into that. So that's just the visual and mental aid to remember that. So in reality, this arm is higher. It's just behind my head. And the right arm is in front, just above my sternum, basically. And we're just here for a second. So all together, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the next step. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, rolling this hand down as the foot comes out. So remember, it's just step, lunge, right? But with that, from this position here, right arm in front, left arm behind the head, we're really just going to think, if we just think of this arm, it's just unfurling, like a little frond, a little fern frond, opening about to shoulder level, keeping it nice and round, and then this arm just reaches out to meet it. So making a little circle shape. Again, be careful not to block your face, and remember that most of the time if you're on a raised stage, even if your arm is lower than your face, you're still blocking. So don't get it too low, but just keep that in mind. You can also kind of lift your head a bit from there. So that is on the releve, and then we're going to change the weight, and you'll notice that my elbows switch, and I open, all right? On 6, 7, 8, we're dropping that arm behind us, and we're doing a little walk around ourselves, 6, 7, 8, ending in this exaggerated fourth position right here. The arms are going to open, nice and slow, coming in, and then all the way down. So it's a nice slow 8 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. On 1, we're opening the right hand and we're looking that direction. 1. All right? You're going to hear this little click. From there, there we're going to step onto the left foot. Make sure to squeeze the glutes. Any of these big steps and big weight changes that we have happen, squeeze and really use the force. I'm squeezing my glutes, pushing away from the floor, doing this big sweep with my arms, feet together, undulation down as the hands pass. All right? So let's see, we're at 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it's downward undulation and then a reverse with a nice pop accent on the end of the chest lift. So again, so click, 2, 3, 4. We're going to open the hands. So this is on the big drum beats. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Feet come together. When we do this kick, make sure that you're not just kind of sticking your foot out there in space. Just eh. Now if that's where your mobility lets you go, that's one thing. But if you can get anything more than that, what I like to do is think of starting back here rather than starting here. So we extend and then we bend. And then if you can go bigger, you know, this isn't a full Turkish kick, but it's a small version. So don't go huge either. Just a nice kick. Make sure you have the control to bring it back to fourth position. All right? So that really comes from stability in the left hip and really, again, squeeze the glutes, plie on that left leg. So we're here, boom, arms open to third. So I'll show you the arm transition there. So we've got boom, 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 kick, okay? Obviously when I'm walking through it, I'm just being lazy. So then we're up here. We're gonna go down, up, figure 8, down, up, down. We're essentially ending here. So we're going forward, back, forward. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 4 little hip circles, just the hip. 5, 6, 7, 8. Notice that I'm opening, so pivot as you need to there. As we do that, the arms are going to circle, just the right hand, sorry. So circle with the hip. 2, 3, 4, or 5, 6, 7, 8 rather. Then we have push the right arm, the left arm with a Maya. So again, so we're here. So when we do the hand circles, be careful not to come all the way here. You want to give a little bit more room. 6, 7, 8, and push, Maya look right, push, Maya look left, 7, 8. So we go push, push, flip, little head accent there as well. And then the hips are going to go 5 and 6 and 7, 8. So it's right, left, so slow, slow, quick, quick, tuck, chest lift, chin up. So 5 and 6 and 7, 8. Then we step back. So just the feet going back, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On 7, 8, we're going to pivot a little bit. 7, 8. All right, with that, we're doing a downward undulation. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Little pivot because we're going to walk forward on this line now. Now, quick little technical note. When you go back, we're making this a nice big spinal undulation. All right, really extending the chest forward, really using the abs to come back. And the other thing I want you to watch out for is that you're not being sloppy with the legs, okay? Again, don't just go. Nice control and extension all the way through the pinky toe, okay? So stepping back, so 1, 2, pointing, step back, 3, 4, 5, 6, angle 7, 8. Last layer with that is the hands. So we've been here, dun, 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 but we're going to do a full rotation, so it's going to go backward first. The spiral goes to the back of the room. 1, 2, let the hands flop. Okay, so they come out, they're straight, but they're not super, like, stiff. But you also want this feeling that they're just falling. Bloop. All right, notice again, it's not wilty, just bloop. And then it's rotation forward, flick up. So we're going flop, flick. So it's 4 altogether. So with the undulation, let me go back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we're going to go forward. Step together, with still a downward undulation. So if you need to practice that downward undulation with the steps forward and back, definitely do that on your own time. I know that can be a little bit tricky. Usually one will feel more natural than the other. So it is downward both times. And the arms have finished up here. So we've gone 7, 8. The arms are going to arc forward. 1, 2. So notice I'm arching with the step on the right, pulling in with the step on the left. 3, 4. On 5, 6, 7, 8, we're going to drop the arms to frame. Imagine framing a ball next to your hip. Imagine just holding a beach ball. Okay? And we're going to go 5, 6, 7, 8. Arms swing to the other side. So boom, 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 boom. Back here. Notice I'm directing the energy with my head as well. We're framing the moon, and we've got 2 circular shapes. We've got the circular shape of the arms and with the hands. So if you go from here, imagine you're holding a big basket, like a cornucopia type basket. And make sure that that basket is really visualized. So the arm is curved here, the elbow is popped up. Don't pop the shoulder, just the elbow. And then to make that second circle, you're going to take your left hand and you're going to turn it over. And we want a nice circular shape, but we don't want claw hands either, okay? So just nice and pretty. The other thing that's difficult, if you go from straight on, it's very difficult to get your hands to really show up straight on. So what feels natural is this, and I don't know if this will really show up in the camera, but what looks better is this, right? So I'm consciously thinking of taking this wrist and these fingertips toward the mirror, and it feels very uncomfortable. So if it feels uncomfortable, you're probably doing it right. And then we're in this nice, strong, extended fourth with the lunge and the plie, and it's a very dramatic stance. Okay, it's very strong, but it's very dramatic, but it's still ladylike because the legs are still together. Okay, so we're here. So we go forward with it, 1, 2, 3, 4. And notice my head is not just turned over here, it's also tilted. And this gives the intention behind it. So 3, 4, 5, we're going to flip the hands over. 6, 7, 8. My elbow should actually be higher. That looks better. So as I'm going across, so 5, 6, 7, 8, my chest is traveling opposite. So you're going to start here, because think about what we're framing. We're framing over here, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this takes a little bit of muscle memory. Again, you'll notice my elbow was droopy that first time. You have to really remind yourself to pop the elbows up and to really frame. One more time. So then the last time we're turning the head the other way. Following that accent, you'll hear a little click. So we go forward, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So imagine you're just listening. You're going, what was that? Just bring the ear down. Okay, 7, 8. From there, still keeping this nice big plie, we're going to start this arm swoop over here, coming all the way down. Notice I'm tilting into it, and I'm using the shoulder and the rib cage over here. Now I'm not using my shoulders, my collarbones, but I'm using my chest and rib cage area. So I'm coming over, 2, 3, 4. From there, let me back up just a little bit. So 4, just the feet. We're going to think of really popping the foot. 5, 6, 7, 8. Really cross the legs, squeeze them together. This will be important for the next move. So again from here, 3, 4. As we do that, we're doing a snake arm on the opposite side. So right foot moves, left arm moves. 5, 6, 7, 8. Simple, but done with a lot of intention. All this is very ceremonial, very intentional, up and over. Boom, 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 boom. Extend through here. Now, the crescent moon pose is one of my favorites and one of my obsessions right now. be careful with it. I recommend that you start off with a balance assist, so a chair, a bar, a couch, a wall, whatever you have handy. The full version, you will do at your own risk. I don't want anybody popping their toes and getting mad at me. You have to listen to your own body. That's not my problem. I'm not there with you. The full version, your weight is totally on your left leg, and the right leg goes crossing behind. So from this side, it's not going straight across, but it's going back. Okay? Now notice I'm also turning on this foot slightly, and you start here. Now there's no weight here, all right? And we just plie and slide. Plie and slide. This hip works a lot, so this will be difficult if you're tight in this hip. Do a pigeon pose, do a hip opening sequence before you practice this. Boom. So that's another 3, 4. So if you cannot do that, if you do not have the foot flexibility or the stability in the ankle or the balance to do that, that's okay. It's totally fine. We're just going to modify it. So modification number 1 is to stay on the ball of the foot. Still looks beautiful. Okay? And you're going to use your toes. Now, always place your weight on your big toe, never your little toe. Okay? Keep the ankle in line with the rest of the leg and you'll be fine. The other modification is just to keep it, losing my balance, to keep it very small. Alright, so start here, then try here, then try there. Okay? Just listen to your body. So I'll let that be up to you. And the hands, as we do that, are going to sweep. Kind of feels weird, again, because we're leading with the top of the hand flipped up. So top of the hand up, coming through center, palms together, up and over. And then if we have the flexibility to do so, we're going to do this big arch over. So the idea is to make this big crescent moon shape. So I'll show you the full version. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I like to also tilt my head just a little bit. And I'm keeping the crown of my head in line with my fingers. So if I get my hands up here, I don't want to tilt my head as far. So this looks better than this, but this looks better than that. So all of it should move together as much as possible. Now modification for slightly less balance and mobility would be here. Still beautiful. And then the modification for the absolute beginner would be here. Okay? So wherever you are, remember, work toward your goals. That's a surprisingly difficult pose. So anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4. Squeeze this glute really hard. Squeeze in the thigh, because we're going to balance. We're going to come up. 5, 6, put that foot down. 7, 8. Really squeezing the glutes and the stomach through that whole thing for balance, because we're coming out of such a dramatic pose. Squeeze the inner thigh, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze everything together, and this foot comes up, hips stay level. 7, 8. So all this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So just the arms, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're sweeping down the left side of the rib cage, right side of the rib cage. Both arms come across and open. 7, 8. From there, we're releasing the hands. We're going to do a corkscrew, so bending the knees. 1, 2. So they're quick. 1, 2. I'm going to show you the turn without turning first, just the arms. And practice this a few times before you add the crossover. The arms are going to come all the way up, all the way down. So from here, flipping the palms up, leading with the fingers. 5, 6, or sorry, 3, 4. So we've gone 1, 2, 3, 4. Corkscrew again. 5, 6, and then this little arm again. 7, 8. We're thinking of a wave splashing up against a rock, going whoosh. Okay, so we go 5, 6, 7, and 8. So the arm comes up and through. So just the arms one more time. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. do that a few times, rewind as necessary. Adding the corkscrew back into it and the crossover turn. In the turn, we're doing it like before, except that we're going all the way around. So I'm not coming fully onto releve. Instead, I'm transferring my weight to my left and then turning with my left foot on the heel and my right foot on the ball. So the last bit of the turn happens there. Very important that you wear socks or dance slippers for that, by the way, so that you actually have the ability to pivot your foot and that you don't torque your joints. So make sure you're wearing socks. So all of that together, do it as many times as you need because we have the magical rewind button. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. From there, we're thinking of seamlessly blending 7, 8 with the last count and 1, 2 with the next count. So we've come around, we've gone 7, 8 as we're facing forward again. So as soon as the fingers flatten out here, we're doing another crossover, but it's a half crossover with a helicopter arm. So it's 7, 8, 1, 2, facing the side, stage left. And as we finish this, the arms just come straight down. So all of it together, finishing that last crossover turn would be 7, 8, 1, 2. From here, this is really slow. The long vocal cues that you'll hear in the song are very difficult to learn to anticipate because it's just a vocal. So you really have to keep your inner metronome going. So pay attention to the tempo before those pieces and just keep thinking in your head. Okay, so that takes practice. So we come around 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I believe it's another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is a hold, 7, 8, and. It happens so fast. It goes pop, 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 pop. But it's practice with me a few times. 5, 6, 7, 8, and. All right. 3, 4. Now when we're here, a couple notes before we get into that actually. We're doing a full rond de jambe, so we're going point, open, right about here. So when we pass the center line, we're going to start pivoting a little bit on this foot and letting the weight open, 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 open. And then we're leading from the shoulder. So imagine you're being pulled from right here. Pull from your armpit. 2, 3, 4. Now notice also my weight's not out here because then you have to push really hard to get yourself up out of this. So while we're here, we're making it look like this dramatic lean, but the weight is still here. So that we can go pop. And then when we bring the hip up, we don't have to think about the foot. Just let the hip pull the foot back in. So 5, 6, so 7, 8, and. So it's hip up, drop, tuck, lift, and as we lift on this side, then we pop the other hand as well. And that happens really fast. Don't worry if you have issues with this hand because we're immediately going to move both of the arms, but it's just a little subtle frosting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and. All right, so again, one more time, and then I'll let you use the rewind button. 5, 6, 7, 8, and. Okay, so from there, so it's a little tricky because we just popped there, but we're going to sort of think of coming in and exploding back out. So there's a little and out, and out. Notice also that I'm using my legs and I'm lengthening through my stomach and dropping my hips back a little bit, just for a second. So we're going 1, 2. As we come up out of that, doing the next movement, you'll just naturally sort of float back out of that and recenter your weight. Don't consciously think of that too much, just let it flow. So 1, 2, we're going to do a wave through, so finger, elbow, shoulder, elbow, wrist. So we go up, up, down, down, down. So imagine the wave has gone through one side and out the other. From there we now directly into sidewinder left, sidewinder right, and then this time counter to the last one that we did, we are going to go down, up, and we're going to go back to the other side, almost as if we're going to do another sidewinder, but that's taking us directly into the torso rotation. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We rotate and come all the way around. We keep the momentum going and wrap, touching the hips. And you're going to hear that's on a little click when we stop there. We're really following the doom, doom, doom. Nice deep beats in the music there. So anyway, so we have sidewinder, torso rotation, keep that momentum going. And I also pull my weight up into this leg a little bit. Touch, make sure you're looking back at the hip. We're going to come out of that, circle forward, forward. So this is a horizontal circle, not a vertical one. Going forward, forward, keeping the momentum going from the unwrap there. So forward, forward, little head circle. Make sure that you're not consciously thinking of doing a big, it looks as dumb as I just made it look, so just keep it really small, and it's right underneath the ears. 1, 2. So really all the difference from just a normal head slide is that you extend the jaw just a little bit. Now not like that, but you're just thinking of extending from these same muscles. So we go side, forward, side. And that's really all it is. You don't have to go back because that turns into this. It's not very flattering. So everything is very, very circular. So we've gone through the body, left, right, torso rotation, wrap, unwrap, circle forward, forward, head. From here we're going to do 2.5 hair tosses. Again, if you have issues with migraines, vertigo, neck pain, anything like that, just skip that. You can modify it however you like. You can replace it with more chest circles, whatever feels good. So we go around, and if you feel good with head flips and hair flipping, then we're just going to go 1, 2, and down. Keep in mind, even if you are doing the hair tosses, the way I do them is not necessarily considered perfect to some people, but my neck doesn't bother me. So I'll take that as a victory any day. But what I do is I let my spine naturally react when I throw my hair. So I'm going 1, 2, and down. Okay, so when we are doing the hair toss, we come down. Theoretically, you know, hair is hanging down a little bit, but we're just bracing ourselves here. Now notice you want to not hunch here and get sort of the collapsed stomach. So instead, think of rotating that sternum forward so that we're here. And then it's going to be boom, boom. So we're making an X shape. And we're coming from, actually let's think of bringing the hands to the hips so that this is a little bit more apparent. So we go boom, boom. Really squeeze that right leg. We're going to step up in this big dramatic lunge. So it's going to be kind of quick. So we go boom, 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 boom. And my energy in this is very lifted. I've got just a little tiny bit of turn on this leg. That's optional, but it really helps with stability because you have the ability to kind of step into the toes if you're a little bit wibbly wobbly, which is especially helpful when we come from a position where we are changing our space forward as well as upward. That leads to a little bit of a possibility for equilibrium being kind of out of balance there. So anyway, so we step forward, and I'm also pointing that toe and then stepping into it. So you want to go point, step. Hips are still level here. So we're flipping the hair back with the arm here. Big, dramatic open. We're going to step up, bring the arms across. We're going to open, and as a side lunge, essentially start with a Maya with a step. So Maya, but let the upper body lean away, and then come outward with it. And let's just think for this first one of opening along the forward plane there. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, coming up, and then we're going to bring the arms through this circular movement here. So bring them in, open the right leg, cross, center. This one happens faster and it's big. Boom. Right arm comes up, left foot comes together. This is really slow. I'm going to go boom, 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 boom. So it's going to be my left, right, and that arm is going to travel along the center plane. We're going to step back to an angle there. We're going to do a tornado rotation. So if you know a tornado turn, we're essentially doing the same rib cage circle there. It's also very similar to a warm-up that we do in my class, but we have the arms lifted here. So we've stepped back, and you want to just contract the side, arch, contract, and then squeeze the abs. So if I show you from the front without the arms, what I'm doing is side, arch, side, up. Now if it's too difficult to have the arms up, you're welcome to modify that, maybe just bring it into the chest. Because think of a seesaw, whenever you have more weight farther from center, it feels heavier and it's more likely to drop down. So when we're out here, you have to really be strong in the core. And also think of pulling inward and then arching your chest up rather than going out to the side and then back, because that's much less sustainable. So to really feel strong and lifted through that, you're going to think of keeping it internal, and the movement is still just as exaggerated with the arms. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if you want to go for broken, you want to go deeper, you can. And I also recommend a slightly deeper stance. So if you want to go big, feel free to do that as well. But just adapt it so that it's comfortable for you. So around, then we're almost at the end, we're almost there. So we're going to step the feet together, bring the hands in, change the weight, step out. So it's sort of an exaggerated, so we're going change the weight, change the weight. So again, from up here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So come in and out. And then we'll slowly adjust back to a normal arm position. So around, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax the arms. We're going to do the same turn sequence we did earlier. So corkscrew, then it's up, all the way around, bring the arms down. 5, 6, 7, and then instead of doing the splash up here, so we're going to go 7, 8, and 1. And that's the finished choreography. So without the turn, so we have, 1, 2, 3, 4, like before, 5, 6, 7, sweep, 8, up 1. And that last pose is again in this position here. So let's try it with music, and good job, you made it all the way through. And back, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, pointing the toes, and drop, 2, 3, arm second, keep going, and in, up, center, and down, Susie Q. I should probably turn that down. Starting up stage, feet together, 7, 8, and back, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, pointing the toes, arms down, nice and slow, and up, center, and down, Susie Q, taking your time, big circle on the floor. Heels together, temple pose. Crossover, and down, up, down, down, up, and circle, feet together, and up, hands open, sidewinder, right, left, around, and step out, and in, out, lunge, and around. roll up, out, up, up, and kick, forward, back, forward, circle, 6, 7, 8, and press, foot up, right, left, tuck, lift, and head, step, 2, 3 to point the toes, roll through the body, and step together, around, 6, 7, and forward, 4, 5, 6, 7, head, and up and over, watch the hand, and 5, 6, 7, and crescent moon, nice balance, push to the glute, 5, 6, 7, and corkscrew, up, down, corkscrew, wrap, splash, and helicopter. Immediately transferring the weight to that rond de jambe, open, pause, 5, 7, 8, and explode. Roll through, sidewinder, right, torso rotation, wrap, touch, unwind, forward, just the head, and sweep up, and down, right, left step forward, and reach, and big one to the side, takes. Still don't like that. Oh, we're making good time. Awesome. Let's do that again.